Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the galaxy. I am Zach, and although we didn't get a trailer, we did get some stills from an Entertainment Weekly magazine of the Kenobi series. So without further ado, let's break those down, shall we? So the first one we get here is the cover, and it shows Obi-Wan with his lightsaber, and God, this is a beautiful shot. It appears he's got that Tatooine skyline in the background, and he looks perfect. He looks just how I thought Obi-Wan would look between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. He's got his big Jedi mullet from Attack of the Clones, and he's got the big beard, and he looks grizzled, and he looks down. But God, this is beautiful. This is such a nice picture, and he's got his lightsaber. It's so good to see that lightsaber again. It's one of my favorite lightsabers. But let's get into the meat of this, shall we? So the first image that we get in the spread is a picture of Obi-Wan looking around a corner. It appears he could be on Tatooine, he could be on the new planet that we'll discuss later, but again, this just gives you a look at Obi-Wan. It kind of conveys that he's going to be looking around corners, he's going to be looking over his shoulder, he's being hunted, and it gives you the mood for this show and the mindset that Obi-Wan is in, and I love it. I mean, he looks... God, he's as beautiful as the day we lost him. But in terms of the text that's attached to this picture, it says, "Trouble around every corner. What kind of Obi-Wan Kenobi will we meet in Obi-Wan Kenobi?" Says star Ewan McGregor, "We find Obi-Wan at the beginning of our story rather broken and faithless and beaten, somewhat given up. And this is chef's kiss perfect. This is the exact mindset I wanted. I'm so thrilled that they had the sense to take this. I mean, it's obvious. Obviously, Obi-Wan would be a beaten down man. He lost everything. His pupil betrayed him and killed children. I mean, of course he's gonna be like this. So the fact that they're not radically changing the character or doing something stupid is awesome, and it gives me so much hope for this series. A series I already had really high expectations for. So let's move on to the next picture. And here we see the villain, or at least one of the villains of the show. But this is Reba, or Reva. I'm going to say Reba because I think Reva sounds better. It's probably Reva because I'm always wrong about pronunciations with Star Wars. But this is Reba the Inquisitor, and gosh, she looks slick. Look at her armor. It's Inquisitor armor is always really cool, but she looks awesome, especially with this neon sign behind her. Very atmospheric. This is obviously not on Tatooine. This is on the new planet, Daiyu, which we'll discuss in more detail later. But she seems to be hunting Obi-Wan, and as we'll see in some later photos, she's not only depicted on this planet, but the text attached to this one is "Inquisiting minds want to know. As the Force-sensitive Inquisitor, Reva Moses Ingram will prove a formidable new foe as she seeks out Jedi in hiding for the Empire." Director Jebra Chow and writer Joby Harold described the character as ruthlessly ambitious. So that gives me kind of a Krennic vibe, because Krennic was extremely self-interested and ambitious. So I wonder if she's going to be similar to that, if she has her own reason that she's hunting Jedi. Because we saw in Fallen Order, we saw Trilla become an Inquisitor largely because she was abandoned by her master and was kind of made to become an Inquisitor. But perhaps Reva has her own reason. Maybe I don't know, maybe she's been wronged by the Jedi. Maybe it's similar to the Grand Inquisitor, where he was tired of being denied access to the holocrons in the library, and so he was so fed up with Jocasta Nu that he became an Inquisitor. Who knows? But I'm excited. I hope we get a new take on an Inquisitor, because a lot of them are kind of flat. Still cool, but flat. So I'm really excited about her character. And here we get a picture of Obi-Wan alone in a cave on Tatooine. I love the blue hues, the tones, and I just love the framing of this. It really hammers home the isolated feeling that Obi-Wan probably is going through. He's alone, small in this picture. It just perfectly reflects his mindset. And I thought that he would have his hut by now, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just has like a bed pad, a pillow, and a blanket, and a cave. Very minimalist. But let's read the text attached to this. Caving in, McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi is a master Jedi and a master of decluttering, as evidenced by his sparse dwelling on Tatooine, where he has set up shop to watch over a young Luke Skywalker. So again, I mean, it's not really a surprise, but it seems like we'll be seeing a young Luke Skywalker. Moving on to the next picture is Reva again. She's on Tatooine, as you can see by the background, And this is very close to home for Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, he does not want Force-sensitive Sith or Inquisitors or ex-Sith on Tatooine. So Obi-Wan's going to get very defensive, and I wonder if he ends up leaving the planet because he's trying to draw her away. That's definitely possible. But the fact that she's on Tatooine must be pretty scary for Obi-Wan. The text attached to this one, on the hunt. They share a common dark side goal, Ingram says about the villainous trio of Reba, the Grand Inquisitor, and Darth Vader. They're on the same team. As for what stands out most to Ingram about her big bad, it's all heart. So again, that's an interesting way to put hunting Jedi down. It's all heart. So I'm fascinated to see exactly what that means when we get the show. And another interesting thing from this block of text is that we get it confirmed that the Grand Inquisitor is going to appear in the show. It had been reported before, but now we get confirmation. So that's cool. I love the Grand Inquisitor. And obviously she mentions Darth Vader, though we don't see him in these pictures. We all know what Darth Vader looks like. We don't need to see him. We just need him to be epic on screen, and I'm sure he will be. And then the next picture, Life in the Slow Lane. Here's Obi-Wan petting his Yopi. I'm not sure if it's his or if it's just a random one, but it looks like it's his. And we do know he does end up with one based off of Star Wars Rebels. But again, he looks, I mean, this is the happiest he looks in any of these pictures. And he's always had a thing for animals. And the text actually alludes to that. Life in the Slow Lane. We all know how Obi-Wan feels about flying. This Jedi prefers to travel by more primitive means, like this Yopi, whenever possible. And I guess what this picture is doing for us is it's showing us kind of the tone of the show. Again, Obi-Wan is on the fringes of society. He's beaten down. He's wearing this rough spun robe, and it's rough. It's rough times for Obi-Wan, and I just love the tone of the show that we're getting conveyed to us by these pictures. This one is another extremely fascinating picture because we have Reba and we have Uncle Owen staring each other down. And something I'd like to point out is if you look in the background, it is blurred, but you can see other people. So this appears to be, I'm willing to bet, the same scene as the one we saw a few pictures ago where she's walking in Tatooine. And it's interesting that they're not at the homestead. We see Uncle Owen in town. So this takes place in town. So I'm really curious to see how she ends up encountering him, if he initiates this or if she does, making him cry uncle. Joel Edgerton is back as Uncle Owen, and we don't necessarily like his odds in a face-off with Reba, but as a wise smuggler once noted, never tell me the odds. Thank you, George, for casting Joel Edgerton as Uncle Owen, laughs director Deborah Chow. That's all I can say. And yes, at the time, Joel Edgerton wasn't nearly as a well-known actor as he is today, so it was great foresight by George Lucas to cast him, and it's phenomenal that he's back. But let's get into the last picture, which doesn't show much, but it does show that Obi-Wan is off-planet. So we have confirmation that he is not going to just sit on Tatooine the whole time. And he's going to this new planet called Daiyu. Cloak and Saber. McGregor is all cloaked up again as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he's got places to go, like the new planet of Daiyu, which sort of has a Hong Kong feel to it, says writer Joby Harold. It's got a graffiti-ridden nightlife and is kind of edgy. It's just got a different lane and a different feeling. This is totally fine with me. I mean, if you're going to introduce a new vibe to Star Wars, do it on a new planet. What you do not want to do is you don't want to tarnish an old planet like Tatooine with this biker gang cybernetic teenage life that just introduces a new feeling that wasn't associated with that planet before, and I didn't like that. But to have Obi-Wan go off planet to this new Hong Kong-esque planet of Daiyu, it works for me. Like, of course it's going to have a different vibe. It's giving me more of a Coruscant vibe, but maybe, obviously Coruscant is pretty ritzy, but it looks more like the lower levels of Coruscant. And that's cool. I really love those kinds of planets, those urban planets of Star Wars. They're super fascinating. I love the neon signs. I have a thing for neon. You can kind of tell by my thumbnails, but this is beautiful. Obi-Wan's incognito with his hood on. He looks like he looks very serious in this picture, so I really wonder what he's doing here, if it's just to draw away Reva, or if he's been sent on a mission by Bail Organa, perhaps to rescue Leia. I haven't read the leaks. I'm abstaining from the leaks. Please don't talk about the leaks in the comments, both for me and for your fellow viewers. But that wraps up these pictures. I'm very excited. I'm even more excited about the show after the pictures. I think they've only given me more hope that they're going to nail this show. They seem to have gotten the tone correct. They seem to have gotten the character motivation of Obi-Wan, his mindset correct. And Reva looks awesome. And the fact that the Grand Inquisitor is back, Darth Vader is back. This is shaping up to be an all-time great Star Wars project. And I cannot freaking wait, folks. And I'm really hoping we get a trailer soon. But let me know what you thought about these pictures in the comments down below. Leave a like, subscribe if you want. It's totally up to you. I'm Zach, and I'll see you in the future.